What's up, guys? If you haven't watched my last video on how I found a $30,000 per month product where I actually reveal the product, you should. There's a card right over here. That video is actually my most popular video to date, so thank you for all your support, likes, shares, and comments. So, since that topic was so popular and all the feedback that I received from all of you telling me how much value you got from it, I decided to share with you guys my progress on a $10,000 product that I'm currently working on so that you can get some value seeing the steps that I took applying the tips and strategies found in my videos to a real viable product. So, like how I found the product, how I validated the niche, contacted suppliers, and most importantly, calculated the fees and profits. But first, my name is Crescent, and if this is the first time we're meeting, welcome to my channel. My passion is sharing tips and strategies on how you can create a successful Amazon FBA private label business. And if you enjoy videos like this, or especially if you've been around my channel, hit that like button or share this with a friend to help spread the word. You'd be doing me a huge favor. Okay, let's get started. So a powerful product research method that I like to use, I call the letter method, and it's the same method that I used in my previous video. And so that's how I also found this product. All right, so with the letter method, you don't need any special tools. You just need Amazon open in your web browser, and I like to use the Jungle Scout Chrome extension. So what the letter method is you just choose random letters and put them into the search bar, and you see what the autocomplete pulls up for you. For example, I like to usually start with the letter A or work backwards with the letter Z, or just choose some random letters. All right, whatever I feel like for the day. So for example, just to show you what I'm talking about, I might choose the letter R and see what shows up in the autocomplete. And what I usually look for are things that are unique or out of the ordinary, or things that kind of catch my eye that I might not be familiar with, right? So I kind of go down here and take a look and see if anything catches my eye. And I don't see anything there, so I might choose a different letter. And I don't see anything there either. Okay, so I might choose a different letter like M and add a letter like an A or an E and just kind of look and see what pops up, right? So there's really no right or wrong way. Like a metal straw, that seems interesting. So let's take a look at what that is. And so those look like just metal straws because it sounds like a lot of states are banning one-time use straws now. So, and I'll click on the Jungle Scout Chrome extension and I'll see what the data looks like. All right, and the price seems way too low, sales is good, and the reviews are way too high. So remember, you gotta make sure that the niche you're looking at passes all of your criteria, right? The price is between $15 and $50. The sales volume is usually over 250, 300 units per month. And the reviews, that 7 out of the top 10 listings have at least, or have no more than 75 reviews. Okay, and this is definitely not meeting those criteria. So another way I'll do it too, I kind of like, I'll look around my desk here and see if there's anything that catches my eye here, and I'll put the word in and see if anything comes up. And I don't know, let's see, nothing there. I might add a letter. Let's see, what do we have here? Stand, a cupcake stand. Okay, looks kind of cool. And again, we'll check the Chrome extension and we'll look at the numbers here. Price looks good. Sales is kind of inconsistent. And again, it's too competitive. Okay, so I hope you get the idea there with the letter method, right? Again, there's no right or wrong way. Choose some random letters or words and just kind of see where it takes you with the autocomplete. So this is exactly how I found my product. All right, so let me show you what the numbers look like. All right, let's look at the Jungle Scout data. Okay, look at the price point is actually pretty good. It looks like it's around $17 on average. And sales is pretty consistent here and low competition, okay? Remember, you want at least 7 out of the top 10 to have no more than 75 reviews. And so it meets all those criteria, right? So for me, my next step while I'm doing product research is figuring out if there's a powerful way to differentiate. It's so important that you identify a way to add value for your product. Otherwise, you're just selling the same thing as everybody else. And so that's the sure path to failure, all right? And for me, I like to find ways to differentiate during the product research phase, all right? And if I can't find something obvious, then I might skip this product, or if the numbers look really good, I might put it onto the back burner and come back and do some more research later. And so for this product, I was able to identify a clear method of differentiation by looking at what other people purchased along with this product. And you can do that by clicking on the listing, and if you scroll down, every product will show you this frequently bought together section. And I was able to identify a common product that bundled well with it, and it was a common product that people are buying consistently with this product. Now, one thing to note, that while you're doing product research, especially if you're using this powerful letter method, is that when you do a search for the niche using those keywords, that the keywords you're using are the shortest and broadest keywords for that niche, because it'll make a huge difference in the data that you're going to see in the Jungle Scout web Chrome extension. Okay, so now that I've identified that my product met all of my criteria and that I found a good way to differentiate, the next step was to product track it and make sure that the sales volume that I'm seeing in the Chrome extension matches what I'm expecting, because the Chrome extension is only estimates. The numbers that you see here in the sales column are only for the last 30 days, and they're estimates because somebody could have done a product launch and did a huge giveaway and sold 50 units in one day. And so what this Chrome extension does is it'll take the 50 in one day and multiply it by 30, for example, right? So you want to make sure that that's not the case, that these listings, the top listings, are selling consistently day to day, and it wasn't just a giveaway of some kind or a promo that skewed their sales volume. So you want to make sure you product track, and you can do that by adding each listing to a product tracker, such as the Jungle Scout product tracker, or you can use the 999 cart method. But not all listings you'll be able to use the 999 cart method, because a lot of sellers now put cart limits, so you can't use it. But in those cases, you can always use the product tracker, and just be aware that the product tracker is also an estimate at times too. You just want to make sure you collect enough data so that you can make an educated decision on whether or not this is a good product to get into. So what you can see here is I added my main product and the bundled product to the Jungle Scout product tracker. And what I did is, for the main product, I added the whole first page, which was around 24 items. And then the bundle item only did like the top 14, okay? And what I did here is I add them so that I can track them and look at the sales data, all right? But what I also did is the 999 cart method for both products as well. And you got to remember, you got to do this for both so that you can make an educated decision on whether or not this niche is viable or not, okay? So track as much data as you can. You can never have too much. So you can see here how I set up my Excel spreadsheet. And here in the first column, I copy and pasted the listing title and the URL for each of my main product. And then the second half here is for the bundle item. Okay, so here I have 18 of my main product and 9 of the bundled item. Okay, and in this column, the days active is how long has this listing been active in the Amazon marketplace. And I like to track this because if I see a whole bunch of listings that are new, then perhaps this niche is about to get saturated, because the numbers, let's say, look really good and a whole bunch of people happen to see it at the same time and decided to get in on the niche at the same time. And so we're seeing an influx of new sellers jumping in. And so I might consider that as a positive or negative. So I track that information as well. Okay, so you can see here for the main product that these are all super old listings. There's only one here and one here that are less than 6 months old, right? And for me, that's a good sign. That means these listings are old, they're doing well, they've been around for a while, and it's good because it shows that the sellers are constantly restocking, right? And so this column is their organic ranking on the day I started recording their data. So this is organically ranked 3rd, 5th, 6th, 8th, and down. So there's some numbers jumping around because those listings had cart limits, so I couldn't do the 999 cart method on it, okay? And so you can see here I started tracking it on the 6th, and today's the 16th. And so here's the data for it. So what you do with the 999 cart method, I'll show you real quick, is you take all those listings, you add them to your cart, okay? And then in the quantity section, you'll select the 10 plus, and then change this to 999. That's why it's called the 999 cart method. Click update. And right here, it'll give you this error from Amazon saying the seller only has 172 of these available, okay? So that's the number you're going to record for that day. And then what you do on the next day around the same time, you want to make sure you track it every 24 hours. You come back, do this again, and if this number changes, let's say it now says the seller only has 162 of these available, then you record 162 for tomorrow, and so you know that over the last 24 hours they sold 10 units. Okay, so that's a powerful method to track how many units each seller is selling each day. All right. So now if we go back to my spreadsheet, you can see here, for example, on the first one, they had 244 units on the 6th. And then on the 7th, they only had 237. So they sold 7 units that day and so on. All right. And there's some anomalies in here that you're going to notice. For example, here you'll see that 119 on the 11th, and then it jumped up to 173. And that's usually because they're restocking or there's inventory that's being moved around or in and out. And so these amount of units got added into their inventory. That's why it went up. Okay. And then what I also like to do is, like, for example, here, I was able to track this listing for a while, and then all of a sudden the seller imposed a cart limit and I wasn't able to add any more. And I just put it there. They put 5 as the limit. So I no longer can track it. Okay. And same here on this one as well. Okay. So what you want to do here is I recommend tracking for around 7 days at least. Sometimes you want to track longer, and basically you want to track long enough until you can form a clear picture of the average daily sales velocity that these top sellers are doing, right? Whether that's 10 units per day, 15 units per day, or whatever you're expecting. Okay. If you still question what that average number is, then you haven't collected enough data. So keep going until you are pretty confident this is how many units they're selling per day. So while I'm doing this, what I'll do is I'll then go to Alibaba and try to get an estimate of what the price is going to be for each unit. So in Alibaba's, I looked up the product and I got some quotes. I actually contacted suppliers using my supplier template, which I'll link in the description. And I got some quotes from the suppliers. And then that way I had actual unit costs and shipping costs that I can use to calculate my profit margin. So at that point, once I got some responses, I went and created a new spreadsheet. And this is where I've narrowed it down to one now, but I had narrowed it down to 3 suppliers that I was working with to try to negotiate a better price. And so this is how I set up my spreadsheet here. And you can set it up any way that makes sense to you. And it could differ depending on the product that you're doing. You can set up the template based on what criteria you're trying to track. Okay, so for me, I was intending to order 500 units and I got a price for 5,000 units. So this is the unit cost and this is the total, unit cost and total. And then how much they were going to charge me for labeling, which was 0, was free. And the insert card I was going to put in there, they were going to do it for free. And then for FOB shipping, the first and the third didn't offer it. And for 5,000, what the cost would be. Okay. And because this product is on the heavier end, shipping by air is too costly. So that wasn't an option for me. I didn't want to spend that much to ship it to Amazon. So I have to ship it by sea. And so I didn't get a price from them to do that. I went ahead and contacted freight forwarders. A great place to find freight forwarders and get quotes is on a website called freightos.com. So you'll need to sign in, create an account, and you'll need to get the size and weight of your shipment from your supplier because you'll need that information to get an accurate quote. Another place you can look is actually on Alibaba.com. Just type in freight forwarder and you'll get a whole bunch of options and you can contact them for quotes. Now the 2 best freight forwarders for me, I kept their quotes here, $1,855 and $2,080. And this price is going to be the same regardless of which supplier I go with, okay? So that's why I have those recorded here. And then I have their lead times. So this supplier is 15 to 18 days for 500 units. And this one is 10 to 15 days for 500 units. And then 20 to 25 for 5,000 and 40 to 45 days for 5,000 units, okay? Now, this other supplier here, their communication wasn't that great from the get-go. So After a while, I just kind of weeded them out, so that's why some of this information is blank. Samples, $150 from this one, $85 from this one. And you want to make sure you track all of this data because you can use this as a negotiation tactic between suppliers. All right, and here is the URL. What I did here is I keep track of the listing URL for the product for each supplier. So this is the main product for this supplier, and then the bundled product from the supplier. All right, and what was great is these three suppliers also happen to make both products. So I can have them manufactured by the same supplier. They can bundle it together for me in the same warehouse and ship them to me. I don't have to deal with two different suppliers. Okay. You also want to make sure if you can take advantage of any promotions that are going on, you absolutely should. For example, right now for the month of September, Alibaba has 50% off ocean shipping, which is perfect for me because that's exactly what I'm planning on doing. So for example, if I scroll down here, you can see under Alibaba's trade services, they're offering 50% off ocean shipping. Okay, pro tip for you. And lastly, you want to make sure you can calculate your profit and fees as accurately as possible. And you can do that with the Amazon FBA calculator tool. So what you want to do here is copy the ASIN of one of your competitors' listings so you can get the shipping weight and dimensions for that product so you can use it as part of the FBA calculation. So I took the ASIN, copied it, and I pasted it here. And you can see it pulled up the data, and what's important is the dimensions and the weight. Okay, and down here, I'm going to put in the unit cost that I got from my suppliers. All right, so I'm not going to fill in this column here. It's not important because I'm not fulfilling the orders. Amazon is. Okay, and here's what's important is estimating your sale price. So let me go back and I'll show you. This product here is actually the main product that I'm after, and they're selling it for $27.99. And the bundle item, which I'll show you over here, you can see is averaging around $15, $17 range. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, since this bundle item sells for around $17, and then the main item I'm competing with selling at $27.99, I'm going to try to sell it bundled for $34.99. So the buyer is getting extra value because they're getting two products that most people are buying together, but you're getting it as a bundle, so you're going to save money. So instead of paying over $40, you're going to get it for $34.99. So if we go back to the calculator, I'm going to put $34.99. Okay, and they ship to Amazon, I'm going to put 0. And the product cost, if we go back to the Excel spreadsheet, you can see here that for 500 units, I got quoted $643, and then my shipping for the cheapest one is $18.55. So if we do some math there, $18.55, and divide that by 500, that's $3.71 per unit for shipping, and I'll add that to $6.43. And so my total unit cost is $10.14. So what I'll do is I'll punch that in to the calculator and hit calculate. All right, and so now you can see that my net profit per unit is $13.98. Isn't that awesome? Okay, $13.98. So let's do some math. $13.98, and I expect to do around 300 units per month. That equals to $4,194 in profit every month. Okay, isn't that crazy? So that's why I'm super excited to share it with you guys, so you can see that if you follow the steps, that you can totally generate this kind of revenue. So let me go back and I'll show you the numbers here. So you can see on the main product, the average sales here is around 250 just by my eyeball. Okay, and I'll see here is 265. Okay, and then if you look at the bundled product, the average is actually looks a little bit higher. It's around 300-ish, 350. The average here, I wouldn't really consider that one because I'm only going to look at these top 10 or so, right? So around 350-ish. So 250 to 350, average that in the middle, around 300. That's a good ballpark. So $13.98 times 300 units every month. That's over $4,000 in profit every month. All right, and that's how easy it can be. It just takes time, diligence, and making sure you follow these simple steps. So I'll keep you guys in the loop on how this is going for me, and I hope you guys found a lot of value in me sharing this with you. Let me know in the comments if you found this helpful at all, and if you'd like to see more videos like this. All right, thanks for watching. If you found value in this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And to make sure you never miss a video, click that bell icon to turn on notifications. There's also a link in the description to our community forums, which you should totally join. And if you're looking for more tips and strategy videos, click or tap over here. And as always, thanks for watching.